All right, guys, welcome back to Geekly Goods. This is Stu McGrew coming back right with a review of Rocketman. So here we go. We're just going to jump right into it. Elton John. When you hear his name, there are a lot of iconic songs and moments that immediately come to mind. Rocketman, Princess Diana, Tiny Dancer and Almost Famous, The Lion King, the list goes on. For those of us who weren't around in the 70s, the overwhelming image that comes to mind is this. A gentle and sweet bespectacled man playing wonderful, gentle music that our mothers and fathers can easily reminisce to. This is not Elton John. This is Elton John. And this is the story of Rocketman. The rock star, the biggest selling artist in the world, but also a man with a very dark side of his life. Starting from his early life and going all the way to the release of I'm Still Standing, this is a movie that pulls no punches and is brutally honest. So let's start with the style, because this is a movie that has it in spades. Director Dexter Fletcher, you might remember him from his acting career, actually brings some major Broadway feels to this movie with some full-on stylized dance numbers and chorus-style songs. When you first see it, it throws you a little bit, and for good reason. We've become really used to the formulaic biopic that last year's smash hit Bohemian Rhapsody absolutely nailed. You could almost call every single scene in that movie before you even saw it. Now, I'm not going to hate on Bohemian Rhapsody, editing failures aside, but I think we are ready for something a little bit more ambitious, and Rocketman delivers. I was consistently impressed with the creative ways that Dexter Fletcher brought Sir Elton John's music and story to life in a colorful and exciting way. Now to the music itself. We all know some, if not most, or even all of Elton John's music library, and I think we all can hear when it isn't being sung well. Something that Rocketman does do very well, though, and I need to give some real credit to Taron Egerton and the whole cast here, is that they somehow make this music their own. None of the songs are sung poorly, and none of the actors are asked to step outside their range. I'm looking at you, Will Smith and Russell Crowe, and it really shows. Elton John's fingerprints are also very evident in the very creative arrangements of the music and the unique ways of presenting his story through song. This is not a note-for-note cover, and honestly, that's a great thing. Nobody can touch Elton John singing Elton John, so why try? Instead, we get what is essentially a Broadway show style of singing the music, and it really works. But the real question that most people are asking is this: how is Taron Egerton as Elton? Rami Malek set a new bar for portraying an iconic rock star and rightly won an Oscar for it. Taron Egerton actually knocks this one out of the park. Now, he isn't as picture perfect as Rami was, but man, oh man, this is a performance for the ages. Egerton handles the ascension of Elton John into rock stardom extremely well, and in a very subtle way. His ego and attitude slowly changes over time, and you oddly sympathize with him as he gets worse and worse as a person. The supporting cast also just nails their roles. Everyone from Bryce Dallas Howard as his fantastically terrible mother to Jamie Bell as his longtime songwriting partner, Bernie Taupin, are just incredible. And this cast lifts Egerton's performance as only an ensemble can do. They are interesting, individual, and complicated, something that is rarely accomplished in biopics. On a special side note here, Richard Madden, aka Rob Stark, is fantastic as Elton John's manager John Reed. He might steal every scene he's in. But what about the bad, you ask? My only real issue here is the pacing. Once we start to get into Elton John's darker years, it seems like we kind of rinse and repeat his self-destructive ways. Now, that is probably extremely honest and accurate, but stylistically, I think I would have liked a little bit of differentiation here. Also, some of the musical numbers with the chorus dancing gets a little bit repetitive. It's nothing terrible, but by the fourth number that is performed in this style, you feel like you've seen most of this before. But honestly, these are really small critiques, and overall this movie does an amazing job of tackling a far-reaching and complicated story. Overall, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. You might not leave with the same warm and fuzzy feeling as you did when you saw Bohemian Rhapsody, but this movie pulls no punches and gives you the brutally honest story of a real rock star. Plus, they do it in a way you probably haven't seen before. My only really big question here is why didn't they hold this for award season? It feels like Oscar bait all over the place. Alright guys, so if you're an all-out fan of Elton John, even just his music or biopics in general, you've got to check this movie out. It is the biopic that was promised. It crushes it in all different ways. And the music's great. The cast is great. Go check it out, man. It's in theaters now. That's all we got to say.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Geekly Goods on all social media platforms, and grab something from our store. We take $1 of every purchase and donate it to arts education to keep arts in the classrooms. We'll see you next time.